Room, and we're now going to look at Mahendra Singh Dhoni, who's getting set to become a qualified skydiver. He's undergoing his training with the best trained commandos of the Indian Army. He's with the Special Forces Para Commandos in Agra. We've been able to procure some exclusive images of the effort that Dhoni is making to ensure that he gets to live his childhood dream and become a skydiver. He's even spoken to us about this dream in an interview we did with him.
It's 22 kgs, but मुझे ऐसा लगा कि ये उससे ज़्यादा भारी था। मैंने उनको बोला अगर कुछ छोटा प्रोटोटाइप होता तो हम क्रिकेटर्स के भी पीछे लगा देते। तो टेस्ट लेने के लिए हाँ, टेस्ट मैच में 70 ओवर के बाद हर कोई थोड़ा थक जाता है, तो उस समय ऑन करके थोड़ा भागने में आसानी होती। बट इट्स हैवी एंड it's nice. It's a different feeling, you know. रांची में भी हमने एक दो बार देखा है. They must have come. आर्मी के यूनिट्स वहाँ पे भी हैं. तो हमें लगता था ये क्या चीज़ है इनिशियली. I was very young that time. तो मुझे लगता था ये अब उड़ तो रहे हैं, अगर तेल खत्म हो गया तो क्या करेंगे. सो बच्चे में बहुत अजीब से थॉट आते हैं. हाँ, I think they can land wherever they want. तो उतना ज़्यादा कॉम्प्लिकेशन.
This is something Mahendra Singh Dhoni has been wanting to do for a very long time. But what does it take to be a skydiver? Joining us now, in fact, is my colleague Gaurav Sawant, here in his avatar as a skydiver himself, one of the few journalists who's actually jumped how many times?
7 jumps, awarded wings by the Indian Navy.
And we've got Shweta. Shweta shot with Dhoni at the Para Commando School in Bengaluru. That's where Dhoni spoke to you and said he wanted to be a Para Commando. And the lady in the middle is Archana Sardana. She's one of India's most decorated skydivers, and she's dived how many? 335 times, you said. Absolutely brilliant having the three of you. So Shweta, in the interview that you did with Dhoni in Bengaluru, he says that if ever he gets a month free, this is what he wants to do, and this is his big moment.
Yes, he always wanted to do it, and while the other cricketers who've got free time are doing endorsements or are abroad, Dhoni is there in Agra with the people that he wants to be actually.
So what motivates someone like Dhoni to take precious time out? He doesn't have too much free time to take precious time out and to do it.
He always wanted to be an army man. He said so, but he was scared of jumps. Even the simulated one that he did there, once he came down, he said, "Mere pair kaap rahe the." So I know it takes a lot of guts if Dhoni has gone there finally.
So how much time has he taken out?
He's, I was told he's taking a month there, though apparently the training takes 2 weeks.
3 weeks is what the training takes. It's a tough exercise, as Archana will tell you. It's not easy to jump. We are at 10,000 feet above sea level. The aircraft door opens and you're looking out, and then you have to jump. You need a lot of.
So does he have somebody hanging on at the back to ensure that if his chute doesn't open, he's got help, or is he jumping off on his own?
There are two kinds of jumps. I'll talk about static line, which is what Mahendra Singh Dhoni will do. Archana will talk about skydiving, which is very, very difficult. In a static line, you have a rope which ties your parachute to a string. You jump and that rope pulls the parachute, and then that parachute deploys on its own. Now, every time you jump off an aircraft, if the main parachute does not deploy, God forbid, you also have a secondary parachute, and that's why you jump in this position. You jettison the first parachute and you yank open the second parachute, so your secondary parachute.
But you're
deploys.
by yourself. You don't have someone peeing on your back.
Nobody. No, that's in a tandem jump. In a tandem jump, there's an instructor. You're sitting on the laps of an instructor. The instructor jumps, and then you play around. And it's the instructor who's flying the canopy.
So, Archana, this is very interesting because skydiving has been a very niche, very expensive, very rich sport in India. Yeah. Are you hoping that if someone like Mahendra Singh Dhoni gets his wings, that will really give a big boost to the popularity of skydiving?
Definitely. Somebody like him has to come and, open the skies for Indians as well. Yeah, that's a big leap, actually.
Okay, and how strenuous, Gaurav, is this training? You've been through the same training as Dhoni?
Well, Dhoni has the luxury of 3 weeks. I had the luxury of 4 hours because I had to do my half-an-hour special and come back to Delhi and broadcast it. So, I unfortunately, whatever Dhoni does in 2 weeks, I had to do in 4 hours.
So, he lives with, this is in some senses, Shweta, then living a fantasy life because he's with the best commandos of the Indian Army, Special Forces in Agra, and he's living his dream life.
True. And this particular visual, Rahul, when he was holding this, he was asking them, can you give it to my fielders so that they can jump high in the sky to take a catch?
Wow.
So, but he wasn't allowed to take off at that time.
This is a paraglider?
This is, but this isn't what he would be doing actually in the sky. You know, when you have your parachute at static line at 5,000 feet, and that's his first jump, you jump from altitudes between 5,000 feet and 10,000 feet. And I mean, our commandos go up to 20,000 feet, but that's where they wear an oxygen mask. And that is where
there's one image that Dhoni's publicists have put out. Let me get that image out. That's the image from Agra, and that's where he's training. It's also great for the and just look at how fit the para commandos are, the ones next to him. It's going to be tough for Dhoni to keep up.
Dhoni's fit as well.
Dhoni's fit as well. Not as fit, Shweta, as the para. I know you have a soft corner for our cricketers, but not a fraction as fit as the best trained commanders of the Indian Army. Surely not.
Mental toughness. What is para jumping all about? You have to be mentally extremely tough. You jump off from 10,000 feet. Who wants to do that? I mean, you could die if the parachute doesn't deploy. 1 in a million cases, but you have 3 parachutes.
But there are big
No, you have 2 parachutes only.
No, the emergency. The main parachute, the emergency parachute, the secondary parachute, and the third parachute at 2,000 feet, which deploys on its own. Okay. God forbid, should the 2 parachutes not work.
There's a situation here. The BCCI does not permit you to undertake anything that's dangerous to your life.
And then how does he do this?
He must have taken special permission.
But Archana, now this is a question. Now people will see this, a lot of them will feel inspired to want to jump off a plane themselves. How safe is civilian para jumping? Because he's of course got the best para commanders of the Indian Army training him. Everybody doesn't have that luxury. We've already seen some people in jail on cases. We've seen also charges being leveled of duping people. So how safe is civilian skydiving in India?
Well, it is safe, I'll say that. The only thing is you have to train them properly. If your training is good, it is very, very safe because you know how to handle the situation when the worst happens.
And what are the chances that a parachute doesn't open? How often does that happen?
I mean, with me, in 335 skydives, only once it happened.
Where it didn't open, and then what happened?
It didn't open. Then you have to do your emergency drill, you know.
You have to do all of that. And that is that 2 weeks training all about. There are drills that you have to follow. That drill has to be a second nature because only God can help you. There's no second man who's there. It's each man for himself when you jump off a plane.
Yeah.
What do the other cricketers do in their free time? Shweta, you've seen Dhoni undergo this para jumping training, and then does he like getting all these images clicked, feeling that he's part of the Indian Army in some senses?
Yes. Yes. Even when he's training with the Indian team, he's got the fatigues, similar ones. When he's going out shopping along with the team, he's got those special commando t-shirts for himself, which have a number 7, of course. But Dhoni's always had it.
And it's good. He's a relatively young boy. He's living his fantasy and he's doing something that he always wanted to. Archana, great having you with us.
Thank you.
Shweta, are you going to be para jumping yourself too?
I hope so.
Okay, she's inspired. Gaurav, next time you go, you take me with you.
I
Okay?
promise.
Take care. Thank you very much,
Thank
all
you.
3 of you, for joining us in the newsroom tonight. Thank you.